Alright, we're on. Good evening, everybody. We are ready to start case 4 of, the third game. Turnabout Beginnings. So Ace Attorney 3 is also 5 trials long. Ooh, what is this? The hell? Shut up! Come closer, and I'll kill her! Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Huh? What just happened there? Oh, Phoenix. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Oh. Fugitive data. Name Terry Fowles. Charge kidnapping, murder. Sentence death penalty. After escaping, Fowles met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. That was the case that was mentioned during that trial too. 6 years earlier, Mia Fey, first trial. Wow. Okay. February 16th, 9:24 a.m. Oh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm gonna die. I never should have accepted this case. Oh, is that the guy? Oh! Oh, good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Fowles, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry, don't... Dude, that's an iron ball. Don't eat that. I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But, Mr. Fowles, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Hi, Coolio. Glad you could make it. Sorry. I told a little lie. Oh, boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? Yeah, just a little bit. I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. Oh? I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then, about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Fowles did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her! She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Oh. You're not gonna figure out the truth by just staring at the guy. He looks a little familiar, doesn't he? Why are you here? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big, scary lion's den. Hey, Noble. Yeah, welcome to the Ace Attorney series. It's I might have mentioned this like back in the very first game, but it's not quite like Danganronpa where you really get a chance to know the characters before they start getting killed off. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? That old man's probably still in bed. Bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. About his hemorrhoids. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. Is that his real name? I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me. No, you've got it all wrong. Today you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Ah, yes, coolio. I don't know, do you have access to RPG Maker? That might work. If you don't, I might be able to help. Cause I have it on mine. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Huh, relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Yeah, that would be useful, too. I'm not a very good artist. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's why my client ran... That's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple, childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Alright. That's what we're about to find out. Oh, hey, it's the Canadian judge. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Fowles, eh? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ah, it's edgy. The prosecution's been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. Yep. So, you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Yep. Yep, you noticed the coffee cup too, huh? I'm sorry, Coolio. I can't help it. Young people running the trial. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. But the defendant's not on trial for escaping prison. On the day the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Fowles was responsible for her death. You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Fowles, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony? The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Fowles at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Fowles throw his young victim into the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. So Ms. Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be... Exactly, the victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha! I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on a testimony escaped 2 days ago. With only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. Huh? It is quite obvious that the defendant is guilty. What? Excuse you? Wait a minute, that's not right. Please hear the case before you decide the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Fee. Not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Yeah, what kind of kangaroo court is this? Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. I call the detective who is in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Oh, it's Dick! He was still on the force at this time, huh? Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe! Dick Gumshoe! The homicide detective in charge of this case, sir. Finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Oh, my. Oh, Gumshoe. Coming right out of the gates. Excuse me? No, seriously. My heart, it's aching for you. Jeez. Talk about forward. I mean, yes, she is. She is pretty hot, but... There's a time and a place for everything, Dick. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional, otherwise I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir. Right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. Okay. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there on top of the bridge. So this represents the alleged killer and the victim, huh? After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Dusky Bridge map. Bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there is no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor, if you'd listen to the testimony and be prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I was some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Alright. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Fowles. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Yeah, I think it is a different judge, Noble. We saw him back in case 2 as well, very briefly. And he had those Canadian mannerisms, hence the voice I've been giving him. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Fowles was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, will the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. A cross-examination coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. I'm not trembling, it's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright. Especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. You got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show 'em what you got, kitten. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching. An unknown person phoned the sergeant. This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Fowles. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Fowles. A note? Yeah, top secret memo she left on her desk. Oh. Can we actually read that? February 14th, 1:21 p.m. Fowles, 4:30 p.m. That bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. that's a... We heard that name earlier in this game. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Valerie's autopsy report. Stabbed with a knife in the back. Died from blood loss between 4 to 5 p.m. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Fowles. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me! I just said that way because the prosecutor told me to. Oh, of course. This was, yeah, this was back when Edgeworth was known for concealing evidence during cases. With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge. Met with Mr. Fowles. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it's a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. Right, and that's... He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Fowles. Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move, we got you surrounded." Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? I would guess so. And if that's what happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Fowles, but she left a note on our desk about it. If only I noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Criminal stuffed her body in his car trunk and tried to make it get away. Mr. Fowles had a car then. Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how we feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? That look. This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Oh, we got a... Oh. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. No, I think not. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. Can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange to you. I don't see anything strange to you. Anyway. I see what looks like... Is the trunk lock broken? It looks like the trunk was forced open. Mr. Fowles was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up on the base of the mountain. That certainly is some impressive police work. Well, no, actually it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Fowles might just try to run. What do you mean it was too close for comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kind of close. Any later and Mr. Fowles could have slipped right by. Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony. A trap? Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh? No, it's not. Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards. The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. Yes. Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange to you. Oh, wait. Wait a second. There's another thing I see strange. Wear white scarf for identification. But she's not wearing a white scarf in this photo. Witness! What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Fay? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Don't get cold feet now. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that. Yeah, you should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Fay, not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Oh, come on, Mia. Shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective. Yes, ma'am. This photo, you said there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus this special request. Oh, I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. And you stopped there? You should have looked for it. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for is this one, is it this one, perchance? Oh, I think that's a blood stain on it, but it's blue, isn't it? Where'd you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. What? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looked like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising. It was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf this whole time. The court will accept the scarf into evidence. Now, if the attorney for the defense has finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fay? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Very good. Now if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Fowles did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything's moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It's about a 40-foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say it was a well-intentioned third party. You're not going to tell us, are you? That could be very important, actually. Aha! A potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. Oh, is that all? The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. Not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm with the judge on this one. So as you can see, Terry Fowles had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on the bridge. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Oh my god. Not again. That's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Good God. There's an eyewitness who is there. Can you tell us about this eyewitness? She's a college student. A female college student? That's right. Means she's female and a college student, ma'am. Thank you, detective. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements, that's all. What's that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh? It means she's female and a college student, sir. Yes, we have established this. Thank you. If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. Shows her wearing a scarf. The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright. So, about the witness who took this photo. What was this person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo. This cloudy fog-like thing. Is it a ghost? I don't believe it. No, Your Honor. No, I don't think it's a ghost. Oh boy. It was drizzling that day. It's a little hard to see what's going on. Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Looks like a cold front just moved in. He tried to make with a funny, but in any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There's even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Yes, I think we've established that part. Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Oh? Hey, watch where you spill your coffee! The court record, huh? That must have been when the scarf fell off. So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. The bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was covered in mud, but there's something about this testimony that's still bothering me. Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So, what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean? Of course I do. So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. Yep, and I think I see it. Oh, wait. No. No, it's not that. It's this one. Her coat is clean, even though the scarf was all muddy. But the rest of her clothes are clean. So, at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Oh, you're right. She does kind of look like Ada from... She does kind of look like Ada from Resident Evil, doesn't she? Yeah, and fog, too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. There's that sexy hair flip again. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with this soggy atmosphere. But this photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't... Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. Or about it. That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. Yeah, that's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If your honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet but not muddy. Yeah, we didn't see any blood on the coat either, although Gumshoe did say that her coat was pretty thick, and so there wasn't a lot of external bleeding. Fortunately, I've yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge, huh? Huh. A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. The scarf, right? The evidence is the scarf. Ah! It should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means the bridge was obviously covered in mud. Haha. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. Ms. Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me. I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here. You're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando. No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence. It's one of those three. What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. That was the coffee aficionado over there that said it. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is. Yes. The false evidence in this case is the photo, either of the photos, or the unless we can prove that one of the photos was faked, it's got to be the witness's testimony that's fake, right? It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. That testimony's filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was a truly decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Huh? What do you mean by that? Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We are prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? It's her. Her again. Everyone's so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Oh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double in a dozen donut holes. Okay, settle down there, Tim Horton. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast! As I said before. Yeah, I know. Right? This witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You're a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir? Yes, my dear? This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is, Melissa Foster. Bullshit! I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo. Is that accurate? How can you be so mean? What? Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Oh my god, she's... Oh god, already got the judging out of her hand. I don't like the turn this has taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be... Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey. I see. So you are... Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly... Excuse me. Suddenly they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here. I was standing right over there. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs. Okay, you were standing here, and that means... it's not showing it this time. So when she took the photo... Hawthorne was standing here. So... Hawthorne was standing here, and Fowles was standing here. So you took the photo from that location, eh? I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. Huh? Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Okay, Judge, put it back in your pants. Alright then, Miss Fay, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. Oh shit, does this mean we can't... Is this gonna be like the last one where we can't push the wrong statement? Using my camera to take pictures of wildflowers. Noticed there were two people up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. Why did you take a photo? Well, the two of them were really going at it. Are they? It doesn't look like they are. Not in this photo of the crucial moment that you're talking about. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over. Smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. Oh, really? So he wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this. All I could do is use my camera. So I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. Witness? When you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Well, you see... The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. No. My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean. Film? What's that? That's an archaic thing from from back in like from the 90s and early 2000s. You ran out of film? This photo was the last one. What? Unfortunately, that's the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself, playing among the wildflowers. The witness herself? Then who took the photos? That's a good question. Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it. I see. Yeah, I do see there's a tripod on it. So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once, too. Please, no details. Yes, this was selfies before selfies were a thing. It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute! Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes. Ah, here we go. Mr. Edgeworth. You're quite the poet. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed. Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, is this guy a sucker for sweet talk. Looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. Jealous much? I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but she only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. If Terry Fowles isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. But what? Careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped around her little finger. Yeah, we noticed. You're gonna have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers. You're gonna have to come up with something really good, Mia. But what? Two people suddenly started fighting. The victim turned and tried to run away. She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed. If Terry Fowles isn't the criminal... Okay. She turned around and tried to run away. But... Are they indeed noble? We'll have to see. But if this was the angle, if this was where she saw them from, she tried to turn around and run away. But there was nowhere to run to because this section of the bridge is missing. Witness, your testimony's a joke. Huh? Well, what? But I just... Miss Fee, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You say there were two contradictions. It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim turned around and tried to run, well then... she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even run 5. Because Dusky Bridge has collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady's been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, what does Edgy have up his sleeve? Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What'd you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying... I'm saying that even though the bridge is currently in disrepair, there is no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's where you're going with this? You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Oh, that is fishy as hell. Huh. That guy's good. Huh? What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, all right. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? That coward. Well, Miss Fee, seems you've once again made a reckless accusation. I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself. No. It wasn't your fault at all. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony? But it's so hard to go on. We're all on your side, Miss Foster. Oh, God. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Well, then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up. If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that! Oh well. Maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. And make a really great mocha latte. This trial isn't over yet! That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Fay. Your cross-examination, if you please. Contradiction staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. Stabbing the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried over to the car. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you call it strange or not, but that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? Her words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. Only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember, they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Fay, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge, hidden away in the mountains. That's a good point! Why didn't he just throw it off? Why didn't he just push the body off the bridge? They said that the river is, that river has a really strong current. And anyone that falls in there is unlikely to be found. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it? Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there. But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and channeling dojo there. Channeling? You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places. Not the Fay family, right? I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes. Something about this testimony is bothering me, but what? Hey, kitten. Have you ever put salt in your coffee? Salt? No. No, why would I? Why not? Huh? It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? I beg your pardon? Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. Might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. Add salt to it. What, like my Overwatch streams, you mean? He's right, Mia. Go present something. You got nothing to lose. By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well, after all. Just step in the back. He couldn't... A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There is a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. Right, he could have just tossed the body into the river. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. Ah! In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. Aha! If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Order, order, order! I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss V. But I must admit, it does seem odd not to have thrown the body into the river. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems your assertion is without merit after all. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car? That's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Huh. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. What is he talking about? Alright. I'll do my best. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. I'm sorry, okay, oh, that's the same. Something about the testimony's bothering me, but what? Oh, okay, this is the same, same dialogue. Okay, but this is new. The killer broke into the trunk and hid the body in there. But she was down here. How she couldn't have seen what was going on over here, could she? There was this big outcropping in the way. Nope. I call bullshit. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there? You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you try to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Haha, gotcha, bitch. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I admit the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. Sexy hair flip again. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge. The outcropping that's being referred to is really more like a cliff. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff. But you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car. Order in the court. What is the meaning of this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh. Mr. Judge? Uh-oh. What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Fay, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say? To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. Glad to see you're totally non-biased. Good lord. What? That's not fair! Save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando? Don't look back until the trial's over. Now's the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair! Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. So tell me, how'd she know that? How'd she know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're gonna have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness? Well, I'm certain he broke into the trunk. Because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain there were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? Let me see that photo. Yeah, I did point that out before. It's true, those certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Fay, are you satisfied? The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? Yeah, we're not gonna buy it. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wild flowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when. When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally. I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Fay explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was if she put the corpse in herself. There's only one way the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Fowles had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. Right, he would have had no reason to break into the trunk. Oh, I see. Sexy hair flip. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Fowles that put the body in the trunk. Preposterous. To even suggest that the witness put the body in there? If that were true, then how do you explain the photo she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time she was taking photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. Finish him! On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Right, she did. She already said that the camera has a timer. Let's take another look at this camera and we'll see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it. Even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? In answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. I think I know. Well then, please answer the question. Can we, Oh shit, no, I wanted to look at the evidence, but I couldn't do that. Oh, don't worry, the drift was certainly caught. Yes, failure's an excellent opportunity for growth. Now try better next time. Shit. Not what I was going for, but... But I think... Naturally, the witness was right here. But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Yeah, she was standing in the middle of the river. Order! Miss Fee, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course Mr. Fowles met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Fowles. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Fowles met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Or Dahlia Hawthorne. Me? Let's remember, it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Fowles himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Fowles had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Right, his... wear white scarf for identification. That indicates he doesn't remember what she looked like. Mr. Fowles had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification. Namely, this muddy scarf. It was Mr. Fowles who requested she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, What do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? No! Oh. KO. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Yes. Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both awaiting their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. Alright. Then, I will take a short recess myself, and, I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.